Welcome! Today is Wet Wednesday. We're going to use stamp pads to ink edges. I'm going to make 2 cards, exactly the same. One of them I'm going to ink the edges on, the other one I'm going to use plain. Now I don't particularly care for edges being inked. We are going to continue using the Christmas Jingle scrapbook paper. And out of the packet, we are going to use this Very Vanilla. For just one card, you wouldn't use as much as I'm going to show you, but this one, we're going to do 2 cards. So I'm going to need 2 12 by 12 pieces of cardstock. Of this paper, I am going to need a 4" by 5" piece of the paper, so I'm going to cut 2 of them. And of the brown, I am going to need a 3 3/4 by 5 1/4 piece of that. And this green, I'm going to need a 3 1/2 by 4 3/4 piece of this. And then I'll be using this border that comes with the stickers. Okay, from this 12 by 12 piece of paper, I have 2 4" by 5" pieces of double-sided paper. This piece of cardstock I am going to cut at 3 3/4 and then horizontally at 5 1/4. I'm going to cut this at 3 1/2 vertically and 4 3/4. Alright, with this other piece of old olive, I'm going to cut 2 inches by 12. For this sheet, I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4 by 11. If you're using 8 1/2 by 11 paper, then you'll just trim it in half at 4 1/4. We're going to score 2 of these pieces at 5 1/2. We are going to take this score line that we just made, we're going to take the apex of that score line and put it in our trimmer, and this corner is going to be lined up in the cutting guide, and we're going to cut this diagonally across here. Okay, and then you're going to make your cut. And with your other piece, you're going to do it the opposite way. You're going to put your fold. You're going to put your fold line still at the cutting edge, the cutting groove, and your opposite point at the cutting groove. Two cut pieces are going to look like this. We're going to put snail just along the fold line and here, and then an X in the middle. And you can probably guess what we're going to do. We're going to put this edge against the fold line. Okay, I'm going to use Real Red, Chocolate Chip, and Old Olive to ink the edges. And I'm going to ink the edges of this. It just is something that I don't do, so we're going to experiment here. And this one, I am not going to ink the edges. I'm just going to leave it plain. So point to point on your cutting line. Okay, there's one. I'm going to ink these edges with the red Old Olive. Okay, so I'm going to adhere these down. Okay, here are the 2. The sticky strip is going to go along the bottom here, and along the bottom here, and then up the side. And we need to stop it right at the edge where it meets this other, where it meets the other side. Alright, we're going to set these aside. We're going to set these aside for a little bit. For those of you that don't know how to use a corner rounder punch, this is Stampin' Up's corner rounder punch. On the back side, and most of the time you will work from the back side of the punch. You see that V shape there? The corner of your paper is going to go right in there, right in that V, and then press down. Okay, so I don't get myself confused, the ones that I am not going to be inking the edges on, I'm going to tape this together. This with the chocolate chip. Okay, we're going to adhere this to this one. This is one of these scrap pieces of the white, and let's put a pull tab. I'm going to ink, I think I'll ink it with red. Let's put this on about right there. This one that hasn't been inked, we'll adhere it to the other one. Okay, we're going to put a sentiment, stamp a sentiment in there at 4.5. Put it at 4.5 and at 2.5. Keep the same thing going throughout. Fun and fast notes, and happy birthday wishes. And we'll do the same here with this one. Let's change up one of these stickers so that it doesn't look so Christmassy. Let's put that right in the middle there and cover up that holly. Let's put that right in the middle. Now we'll peel off the protective cover of the sticky strip and bring this side over. Okay, and then this one fits in there. Alright, now we're going to do some scoring on these bands. Okay, this first score is going to be at 5 5/8, and the next score is at 11 1/4. Okay, when you're working with long border pieces that are sticky, put it on your arm. That will keep it from getting on the paper, and it will also help you to get things lined up. Okay, there. Alright, now we'll take the sticky strip off. Okay, now let's slide this guy on. Okay, let's put a piece of ribbon here. And no, this is not Stampin' Up. This is just something from my stash. Okay, I'm going to use these circle brads. I think I'm going to go with the red sticker. And get about in the middle. As close to the middle as I can. Now I have to de-sticky this surface. Use my favorite de-sticky stuff, baby powder. Oh, I'll stick them one on each side of the hole. And then straddle this ribbon. There's nothing that says that you have to do either or. It's just whatever you particularly like.
The red around the edges, silly as it may sound, this one doesn't look finished when you compare it to this.